Welcome back to Anything and Everything. We back like cook crack on this beautiful Friday, people, and I appreciate y'all, as always, tuning in. Different little studio setup today, you know what I'm saying? Because we had a lot of stuff going on, so I'm over here at the lunch table. If you want to go watch that, I was just on their podcast. It's on their YouTube. Tune in whenever. But let's dive right in here, people. Update on the Dallas shooting. Well, we now have footage from what it actually looked like while all that shit was going down. Now, run that real quick. So now at least we know it's confirmed that bro was literally shooting into a detainee van. So you mean to tell me that he was aiming for ICE agents while shooting into a back of a van, knowing that detainees are in there? And then he sees the detainees running out of the van, trying to get inside the facility, and keeps on shooting. People, I just want you to pay attention to this rhetoric that they're trying to paint of basically, hey, the left is a domestic terrorist group and they are all Antifa. It's a slowly but surely type of thing that's going to happen over the next couple months with these type of shootings trying to, be on their side. They use this as a political motive. Because think about it. Let's just look at this picture again. Anti-ICE. So you mean to tell me someone that hates ICE as much that they are going to shoot them with a sniper rifle is going to write anti-ICE on the bullet? Not fuck ICE? You don't think they're going to say fuck ICE? Nobody? You know what I mean? Like immediately I've been, oh yeah, fuck ICE. Why just catch this bullet, dickheads? And then they didn't even aim at the agents. But now Stephen Miller, now Cash Patel, now Donald Trump are just all saying, oh, this is a lunatic leftist that murdered our people and are trying to go after ICE. They're Antifa. And it's just like, wait, no, I don't think so. I mean, according to his friends, he was a Reddit kid and a gamer, which most of the time that means they align on middle America / most likely like racist jokes, gay jokes, trans jokes, all of the above, especially with the games that he was playing in the hours that he was logging in. And it's interesting we don't see any of his social media. You're not trying to paint him as someone trans or anything like that, but instead, he left a random note. As usual. I mean, it's just beautiful how many people just leave these engravings on bullets and then, oh, I wonder if they're going to think that this person shot an APR round sniper. So he did all that, but didn't leave anything else. And all his friends, like I said, are like, well, he's kind of isolated because he would take his 4chan conversations into real life and kind of like, he was a weirdo. But why are we trying to paint this as left versus right? That's our problem here, people, as always. They're trying to paint the left as a domestic terrorist group, so then when the next elections come around, they can just call them Antifa and they won't even be able to vote. That's the hope. You gotta look at the big picture here, people, where it's like, why are they so focused and hell-bent on people hating the left if they're already in power? They already have the power. Trump is there for the next 3.5 years, but he wants them to be a terrorist group so he can stay there forever. Motherfuckers turning this joint into his forever house. I mean, did you see what he did with the White House? He went through the portraits. He said, oh yeah, Biden's joint, put the auto pen in there. Which I will say, elite hater execution. But, as a hater myself, why don't we replace your portraits? Why don't we put the birthday letter in one and picture with you and Epstein in the other? Since no one wants to know or find out about that. Which brings me up to the Epstein files again, since no one wants to ask about them anymore. It's weird how much we look into the escalator situation, because while he was in the UN, we know they stopped the escalator and then they supposedly messed up his teleprompter. And he wants to launch a full-on investigation into this. It's just like, why can't you just focus like half of that effort on the Epstein files? That would be beautiful. I would love that. But no. We don't care about the Epstein files because it's going to incriminate a lot of people that are in power, which is just an unfortunate reality of this situation. But it's like, I look at what's going on and I'm like, okay, so they're trying to start a civil war, but at the same time try to say that we're the ones trying to start it. At least people on the left. I think I align with left ideology, but finance stuff, I definitely understand where the right comes from. But right now, I feel like neither exists. It's just a 99% versus 1%. Every single person in government, almost, just wants to get in there to line their own pockets. Once they get in there, they have to align with whatever side, the left or the right. And then from there, they're just like, all right, well, whatever. As long as I can trade my stocks and line these shits up, I don't really give a fuck about the rest. That's our problem in the United States right now. It's like an insider trading company, but there's no trade that trickles down to the rest of us. So that's where we need to start our reset right away. But instead, we have them trying to say, oh, well, this is a left problem. We need to start attacking them like domestic terrorists. It's like, nigga, what? I mean, listen to Casper Patel.
We are properly going to chase them down like the domestic terrorists that they are, and our streets and our communities are going to be safer because the JTTF and the FBI and Treasury and DHS and DOJ are going to combine forces like never before to root out this new evil that is perpetrating our criminal activities across our societies. And we are just so thankful for your leadership and recognition of it. It's not easy to do.
You're going to chase them down like domestic terrorists. Why don't you chase down the Epstein files? I thought that was the easiest thing. I thought you already had that in your possession, but you want to chase down everything else but the files that incriminate the most important people in the world. And especially after more files have just dropped that shows Elon Musk was invited, Peter Thiel most likely went, Prince Andrew, as we know, has now been confirmed. And so now I wonder, what was Peter Thiel doing over there? The guy that's running a now basically $100 billion company in AI defense. Palantir. Yeah, go ahead and look into that. And then their COO, Alex Karp, who's also a fucking maniac. And these people were somehow closely tied to Epstein. So why are we not releasing every single page? Why does it have to be brought up one by one and slowly but surely? Is it because you have that many redactions to do? But now we know that they will do anything and everything to defend Mr. Trump and not incriminate him in any type of way, because if you do, then you get fired. And so it's just like, oh, just this running thing of people on their knees dickieing all the time because they can't cross King Trump. And it's crazy that that's the type of predicament that we're in, but it's just real. And now we had BB the fucking bomber fly all the way over here to give a speech at the UN. And he couldn't just fly regularly. As you can see, he had to take a very specific flight path. Why? Because he's a wanted war criminal. We basically just flew Adolf across the country and was like, oh, okay, yeah. Come give your conversation here so you could just come and lie to a bunch of people. And like I said before, BB, we don't believe you. And now we know why we don't believe you, because what did you do? You went in front of the UN and just started lying your ass off, as usual. But let's start from the beginning. What happened when you got to the UN and gave this prepared speech? Well, almost 75% of the room walked out. Play that.
All right, what you're seeing here is the big walkout from the UN General Assembly, Sandra, because this actually has happened before to Prime Minister Netanyahu. You can see that the applause is coming from the Israelis as they sit there and walk.
Imagine preparing for so long on an entire flight to give this speech to try to win some people back over, and everybody's like, yeah, fuck you. That's the type of energy you deserve. But there were people like me that decided to watch the rest of the conversation online. And it was interesting because obviously you tried to lie and say that what you guys are carrying out is anything but a genocide, when we all know it is a genocide. But then you started to brag. You showed this map of how many people you have taken out. Play that.
Yahya Sinwar in Gaza, gone. Hassan Nasrallah in Lebanon, gone. The Assad regime in Syria, gone. Those militias in Iraq, well, they're still deterred. And their leaders, if they attack Israel, will also be gone. And for Iran's top military commanders and its top atomic bomb scientists, well, they're gone too.
Also, now you admit that you were targeting scientists. It wasn't really just, oh, you were targeting war criminals and terrorists. No, you didn't want Iran to have scientists that could then create a nuke so they could also have a nuclear weapon over there in the Middle East, while you illegally harbor one in the Cutlight peroxide and don't tell anybody about it. But you also have your Samson option where you could just press one button and nukes get sent all over the world, because if you die, you want everyone else to die. Yeah, we know about that too. So it's weird to me that you want to brag about what you can carry out, but try to still play victim. And all these people that you're attacking, most of them never attack you first. Do you think we don't know that? And then you continued with your spew of bullshit, and you said, we're so powerful that we can broadcast my speech right now to Hamas directly onto their phones in the middle of Gaza. Play that.
Thanks to special efforts by Israeli intelligence, my words are now also being carried They're streamed live to the cell phones of Gazans.
Oh, so you can control their electronics from all the way over here and broadcast directly to their phone while heavily surveilling them and show them that you're currently giving a live in-time speech. But you want me to believe that you didn't see October 7th coming at all? That's your problem, is when you brag, you also admit to other things like how much control you actually have. And so you want the rest of the world to believe that you had no idea October 7th was going to take place when you just admitted that you can take control of their phone right now and broadcast your speech. I told you, you a dick eater, bro. Nobody believes you. You're a liar. And then you decided to brag again about the pagers. You know, those pagers that you blew up and killed kids and family members and people that are supposedly innocent, even though to you they were all terrorists. Yeah, listen to him brag about that.
You remember those beepers, the pagers? We paged Hezbollah. And believe me, they got the message. And thousands of terrorists dropped to the ground.
It's the audacity to brag about innocently killing other people even when you don't hit your target, which lets us know that you are very comfortable carrying out the ethnic cleansing that you are right now. Man, you was one ugly fuck. I can't wait for you to rot in hell. Like, I don't know if everyone believes in heaven and hell, but I want to believe in hell so bad just so I know you have to rot down there for eternity. You're a shitty human being. And then, let's not stop there. He's trying to paint the flotillas and the ships that are currently going over to Gaza as violent and Hamas terrorists. Yeah, the people that are coming from all over the world trying to give aid directly to them. Oh yeah, all of a sudden they are now violent protesters and Hamas terrorists. And they're saying it's being funded by Hamas, which is like, how does Hamas get in touch with all of these people and then fund, like how are they sending the money? If you could literally take over their phone and tune in whenever you want and then play your speeches. Gotta wonder how that works. Logically, logistically, there's like a lot of things that just don't fucking add up. But over the night, what they do, they drone struck them. Basically, they're sending fighter jets to try to stop them. And these are just innocent people trying to break a blockade. And they're trying to say, oh, no, you have to deal to Israel. And we know you can't do that because they lie, it disappears, or just goes sit in a corner until it goes bad because they're trying to starve them out. The last thing they want is this food getting delivered because then the aid is delivered, then people witness it with their own two eyes, and then they survive even longer and the ethnic cleansing can't fully take place. Which we know that's what Bibi, the bomber, really wants. And so that makes me think, maybe that's why Pete Hegseth called every single military person, head of their military, to come and meet in one location. You know how insane that is? From all over the world. And so what could they possibly be meeting about? Unless they know that Israel plans to strike this flotilla and the rest of the world is going to turn against them and then we're supposed to go onto their side. And he's preparing us for World War III, basically. That's just what my guess is. I'm not sure. He could also be meeting about what's been taking place with Russia and Denmark. Because Denmark has weirdly been talking about these new drones that are floating around their area. And they don't know where it's coming from. Play the drone clip real quick. Kind of looks very similar to what was flying around Jersey. But it could also just be extraterrestrials that know that we are going to be on the brink of World War soon. And they're kind of like, okay, we can't let a nuclear bomb break out. But I mean, these drones are shutting down Denmark's airport. Jets are having to turn around because there's an unidentified flying object. And then Denmark's prime minister, she literally went on television, gave a 7-minute speech of saying, we have no idea who this is, what this is, and why they're doing it. Obviously, their speculation points to Russia, because Denmark is one of the people that supply weapons to Ukraine. But it's kind of just odd and weird that Russia would choose to do it over there and not anywhere else. And then to add to the weirdness, they know it's professionally piloted because the technology is something they haven't seen before / can't keep up. It's like they've tried to lock on and tried to shoot one of them down, and they can't because this thing is too equipped. And so it makes you wonder, well, could this be part of the 3i Atlas thing that's currently coming through, which now they say is over 100 1,000 billion tons or some crazy ass shit. They basically think this thing is the size of Manhattan. And now it's going to basically bump Mars, which we don't know what that means of like, oh, okay, it's going to pick some things up from Mars and come? Or are they going to pick up some water that we don't know about? Or who knows? They're going to make that shit home base. But all this drone activity, UFO activity, UAP activity, it's very weird timing with everything going on. And then when you look back and you look at history, there's been other times where they literally have said like, oh, we think UFOs and UAPs have interacted and intervened during very high intensity war times to basically prevent us from killing ourselves, which sounds about par for the course because the people in control are warmonger egomaniacs that really think that, oh, we can one-up someone by killing more people. And it's like, well, we're all human, so it's not how this shit really works. But hey, to each his own. But it doesn't stop there with Hegseth. Not only has he brought our whole entire military together basically to not announce anything yet, but say, oh, I need you guys. There's a big announcement. Something big is happening. He's also basically just trying to rewrite history. He's now saying the Wounded Knee battle. So it's known as the Wounded Knee massacre for a reason. Because back in the day when we were colonizing Native Americans, there was this massacre that took place called Wounded Knee, where we surrounded them in basically a basin and we wanted to take their weapons away because obviously we wanted to. I don't even know why I'm saying we, the colonizers. I wasn't a part of that shit. I got brought here by accident too. Fuck, our ancestors probably didn't want to get over to this motherfucker. But we see them in the basin and we send our people to try to take their weapons away. And during this time, during this exchange, a fire shot go off. People still go back and forth of who was the first person to shoot who. I think if we were a guessing team here, we could kind of guess who probably shot who first. But then all hell broke loose, where it wasn't a fight. It was more of a massacre. We stood on top of the basin. We turned our cannons towards them. We opened fired. And we killed over 250 women and children. There was 350 people total there. We also had our deaths, I think in like the 30s to 40s maybe, and then like 25 wounded. But most of the time it's accredited to friendly fire because they were just firing into the center trying to take out these Native Americans. But now Pete Hegseth is literally just saying, oh, well, we're going to give them Medal of Honor because our people fought hard. It's like, what the? No. This was a bruise on our history. It's always been looked at as a massacre. And it's like, okay, so if he's going to start with this, it's like, oh, he's just easing himself into rewriting all of history to whitewash it and make every single massacre look like a battle. When you kill more women and children than men, you're not fighting a war, you're massacring somebody, which is exactly what we call and is happening over there in Palestine. And so I'm just trying to understand why this is so important. But then if you really break it down, it kind of makes sense because this is how it starts. Okay, Native Americans, we already have them on reservations. They're not going to really fight back over this. They're not going to cause a ruckus. They're not big on social media. Who cares? We could just start off here. But then it's going to continue. Next, they're going to call Tulsa Massacre not a massacre. Well, Tulsa was a battle that we had to fight because they were trying to go against America. And they were trying to separate and do their own thing and become their own city. Just say, that's where it starts. And next thing you know, he's going to be talking about Martin Luther King he was a really divisive person. And, he caused a lot of violent protests. And a lot of people's businesses were tainted and burned down. And really, we got to really think about, is this a good guy? Does he really deserve a holiday, a national holiday? I'm just saying, people, this is how it begins. Starts off like this and they slowly push further and further. Just like with our government, they start off with, oh, drug pushers are now terrorists. They start off with that label, then they kill them. Then they kill them again. And now all of a sudden, oh, Antifa is a terrorist group. Do we even know who's in Antifa? Well, everybody on the left. And so when do they start shooting, killing people here? And they're just saying, oh, well, he was Antifa. They're a terrorist group. We're allowed to do what we want to do. That's why we need to fight back and stand together as one and be like, oh, we got to draw the line in certain places. Like, oh, wait, what the fuck are you even talking about? Get what I'm saying? Enough is enough, people. We can't just lay back and let this shit get out of hand to the point where then we're fucking cooked. I appreciate y'all tuning into another episode of Anything and Everything. I'm your host, Lawrence Johnson. Don't forget to hate and subscribe. Join the Patreon if you want to join Hater University. You already know, because we're going to have bi-weekly hating lessons so you can reach your fullest potential as a hater. And you already know, we're going to be back like Hook Crack on Monday. The motion don't stop. It's like the ocean. Stay vociferous, Mephistophelian, and iniquitous at all times. I'm going to see y'all on Monday. I'm out.
You've just tuned in to another edition of Iniquitous News Network with Lawrence Johnson. Don't forget to hate and subscribe.